Hey friends, we got a gorgeous full moon coming up in Pisces. This moon may be very emotional, first of all. Pisces is the realm of the water, the depths, our emotions. Pisces also rules our unconscious, our spiritual connection, that connection to all that is, the place where we understand that we are love, that we are connected, that blissful, dreamlike, expansive space. This is the realm of Pisces, and this is where this full moon and all full moons are a moment of release and harvest. This is where it's happening. So this moon is probably going to be very full of all the feelings and very full of all the emotional depths. Very, very powerful time to tap into the unconscious, into your intuition, your creativity, listening to your dreams, opening up to that deep connection that is wanting to pour through in such a beautiful way in this release moment. Now, a couple interesting things about this full moon. First of all, it's in a conjunction with Saturn. And Saturn often gets a bad rap in astrology because Saturn rules things like delays and restrictions, and there can be a heaviness to Saturnian energy. It's about the deep, big lessons that we're here for, and the moving through time and the doing the work. Saturn is all about the slow, steady doing the work. I like to use the analogy of the farmer diligently planting the seeds, tilling the soil, putting the work in. That's the Saturnian principle. So sometimes Saturn gets a bad rap as like all of the heavy stuff and taking time. But let's look at the whole picture here. Saturn is also about what happens when you do that work. What happens when the farmer does diligently plant the seeds and till the soil? By law, by universal law, things grow, seeds sprout. The results come when you put in the work. And that's the side of Saturn that we don't want to leave out, that it may not be the sexiest, most exciting energy, but it's that energy of the work you have been putting in is paying off. It's inevitable, period, end of story, full stop. Even if the results don't come in the form you expected, even when you pour in your energy to a project and then it doesn't go the way you hoped or planned, or maybe you pour your energy into a relationship that you had your hopes and your heart set on, and then it crumbles and breaks. All of that love that you poured in, all of that devotion that you put into that project, to your daily life, to the practice of showing up as the incredible human that you are in an immensely challenging time to live. All of this energy is not to waste. That's the message of Saturn. And Saturn meeting this very beautiful full moon in expansive, open-ended Pisces is this very beautiful meeting of what we might call the feminine, masculine energies. By that, of course, I'm not talking about gender, not talking about male, female as gender or gender roles, talking about the very pure principles of creation. And knowing that when you show up, when you do the work, when you diligently be who you are with the intentions and the movement forward, you cannot help but create. And this full moon in Pisces is a moment of release into the creation that wants to come forward from a place that is so much bigger than you, from a place that is so much more expansive, so much more abundant than anything you could have come up with. This is a moment where you know you've done the work and you let it go, and you open and trust and invite the results, the outcomes, the furthering of what's here for you in whatever's next in your life to be so much greater than you could have dreamed and so much greater than you could have imagined. So this is a place of release. This is a moment of letting go, of celebrating, harvesting all of the diligence that you've been showing up with. The other thing about this moon in Pisces is that if the full moon's in Pisces, that means the sun is across the zodiac in Virgo. Virgo is all about precision and analytics and putting the pieces together very meticulously and carefully. Virgo loves to do the details and do the work. When we're working with this continuum of the Virgo and the Pisces principles here, once again, we're looking at the ways in which all of the work you've been doing is coming to fruition, being birthed into something so much bigger than you could have imagined or intended. And I also want to take note that Venus has been in a retrograde journey over the past, 5-6 weeks now, something like that. So Venus has been in a retrograde journey, which is a deep inner journey of heart opening and healing. And no doubt you've gone through stuff over the past 5-6 weeks that has very profoundly, very deeply opened your heart in ways you've never experienced before. And the ways that you've shown up to that, the ways that you've allowed that open and that release and that transformation to happen is all being celebrated and harvested now in this full moon. So it's like a moment of graduation of sorts, even though we're not done by any means with any of the things, but it's a moment of release and of allowing the emotional presence of all the work you've done to be there in the most beautiful ways, releasing, clearing whatever no longer serves you, because that's also part of the full moons. They are a release of whatever is ready to let go. And I want to invite you to breathe into that now and invite anything that's arisen over the past weeks that's come into your awareness that you are ready to release and clear in order to move forward in the most aligned, connected, sourced version of you, connected to your higher self, connected to your truth. Allowing that to release now, whatever's ready to be let go. And breathing deeply in the energy of this full moon, the energy of this Pisces realm of connection, knowing that you are completely held, and this is the energy of Pisces, you are completely surrounded in love. You are so completely held. You are so completely connected, and you can never not be connected. Even when we don't feel it, even when our minds don't believe it, you are never not connected. And that's the message, that is the power of this full moon. Lastly, we've got an inconjunct between Mercury and Chiron hanging out in the background. And this inconjunct is in like a perfect, it comes into perfection like during this full moon, which is super powerful. The inconjunct represents a new choice point. It's like a fork in the road. The inconjunct is less of a strong influence compared to, say, a square. It's not usually felt like some kind of super challenging event. It's more like an invitation. Hey, you have an option here. You can keep doing what you've been doing, or you are invited to take the new higher path. So there's a moment here of invitation as you're releasing to take the new higher path. And what is this path about? It's about Mercury and Chiron. Mercury representing our thoughts and our intellect, and Chiron representing the healing journey and the journey of meeting and facing the wounded places and coming into a new relationship with them so they no longer rule the show. So this is powerful. Invitation for a new choice point between the way our mind is operating and navigating the world in connection to the old wounded spaces. How are you meeting the old wounded spaces, especially places that maybe the mind wants to, oh, I don't know, loop around endlessly in or constantly dig up, or maybe it's constantly wanting to figure out the answer when the answer is to release and let go into the greater depth, understanding, and truth of this Pisces full moon that is connected in ways beyond what our minds can understand. So, whatever your experience in this full moon, and feel free to pop in the comments if you would like to share with me, because I always find it interesting to know how the moons are landing with you and feeling in your body. So feel free to let me know. Whatever your experience, I'm going to invite you today, tonight, whenever you're listening, to breathe deeply into the center of your heart in this moment, inviting whatever is ready to be released in this moment, in this lunation, whatever's ready to be released and cleared so that you can fully move forward in the most beautiful, connected, centered, grounded, and expansive, loved version of you. Knowing no limits, like Pisces knows no limits, and knowing that connection to endless, boundless love, the way Pisces knows. Sending you so much love on this beautiful, beautiful full moon. Please like and subscribe if this has been helpful, and I will see you soon. Take great care.